Okay, let's get into this. For today's deep dive, we're looking at a case that it really forces you to question the very ground you stand on.
It absolutely does. It's about that terrifying space where memory, something you believe is unshakable, just collides with hard scientific proof.
Exactly. We're talking about Ethan Moorcraft, a man who, for his entire 30-year life, knew he was an only child, knew it as a fact.
Until he wasn't, until one phone call on a Tuesday morning just completely shatters that reality.
So our mission here is to walk through the events chronologically, to see how a lifetime of deliberate memory erasure really just rolled out the red carpet for something else to come back.
The nightmare, as you said, it begins with that call. Sheriff Talbert,
Right.
Redwood County. He's on the line, very matter of fact.
Yeah, telling Ethan a woman's body has been found in the state forest, and that Ethan is listed as the closest next of kin.
For his sister, Sarah Morftoft.
And Ethan's response is just immediate. It's pure instinct. He says, I don't have a sister. I've never had a sister.
It's the only truth he has. But the sheriff on the other end of the line, he has a different kind of truth. He has documentation.
And he has the science. That's the part that's impossible to ignore. That's what forces Ethan into his car for that long 6-hour drive.
Right, this is the hinge point of the whole case. It wasn't just a name on a piece of paper. The preliminary DNA test came back.
Get this, a 99.99% biological sibling match.
There's no way around that. No clerical error, no mix-up at the lab. It's a fact. This dead woman in a shallow grave is his full-blooded sister.
Can you even imagine that drive? Just hours of your entire life replaying in your head, trying to find a crack, some memory that makes sense of it, driving toward this nowhere town, as he called it.
And the scene when he gets there is so mundane, it's almost more horrifying. A little coroner suite, concrete floors, linoleum walls.
And that smell. He describes that smell of bleach trying and failing to cover up the smell of, well, preserved meat.
Dr. Elkins, the coroner, he slides open drawer 6, and the visual confirmation is somehow worse than the DNA result.
Because she looked like his mother.
Exactly. Same nose, same high cheekbones, even the way her dark, brittle hair was parted. It was a face he knew, but on a stranger.
But the condition of the body was just horrifying. She was so frail, her ribs were described as looking like piano keys under her skin.
Which points to long-term starvation or confinement. This wasn't a quick death.
No. And this is where it gets truly strange, the medical details. Dr. Elkins pointed out this calcified scar tissue.
Packed around her nose and her mouth. He said he'd never seen anything like it, except maybe in, like, old mining accidents from a century ago.
From exposure to mineral-heavy dust or some kind of fungal buildup, it suggests she was breathing in earth for a very, very long time.
It's the first physical clue that her death was slow and deeply, deeply unnatural. Torture, but environmental.
After that, the sheriff hands him an evidence bag, and inside is a Polaroid.
Water damaged, yellowed, it had clearly been clutched in her hand for years.
And the picture is of him, age 5, missing his front teeth. And he's holding hands with a little girl his age. They look, the notes say they look like siblings.
And he has no memory of it. Not the photo, not the girl, nothing.
So he drives straight to the one place the answers have to be, his parents' old house.
Which is like a time capsule. Sheets over the furniture, the faint smell of his mother's perfume still hanging in the air, a museum of denial.
In the attic, he finds these big plastic tubs labeled photos.
And that's where he finds the proof of the cover-up. It's systematic. This wasn't a moment of panic.
No, whole pages were ripped out of multiple albums, not just 1 or 2 photos, entire sections.
Specifically targeting the years when he was between 3 and 7. A solid 4-year block of his life just gone, erased.
So he calls his father, who's living in Nevada now. He confronts him.
And the father's reaction is just immediate panic. He doesn't even let him finish, just starts shouting that it's a mistake, a scam.
You don't have a sister, just repeating it over and over. But then he slips. He snaps and calls Ethan Jess.
Jess. Which is so specific. It feels like a name connected to the trauma, something that just boiled up from his subconscious. Then he hangs up. Too fast.
The denial from his father, coupled with the ripped-out photos. It's like he finally acknowledged the truth of the erasure.
And in doing so, he woke something up.
Because that night, back in the old house, things start to happen.
It begins subtly. He's asleep on an air mattress in the den, 3 a.m., and he hears his name.
Just a whisper. Soft, almost like a child playing a game.
He opens his eyes, and that's when he sees them.
The footprints. Small, muddy, bare footprints tracking across the wooden floor.
They start at the back door, which he knows he locked. They cross the room, and they end precisely at the corner of his air mattress.
And the most terrifying part?
There are no prints going back.
It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
He had a cheap motion-activated security camera pointed at that door, so he checks the footage.
2:50 a.m., the camera glitches, the footage fuzzes for a second.
The back door just swings open. Slowly.
Yeah.
Silently.
And something comes in. It's small, crouched low to the ground. The outline of it shimmers like heat rising off hot pavement.
It's not solid. And he watches this heat shimmer shape reach out and touch the door frame.
The description says, like it was routine, like it was coming home.
And then, as he's watching this, he hears the whisper again, but this time it's right next to him, in the room.
You forgot me.
That sends him digging. Not through family photos, but public records. He needs something official, and he finds it.
A missing person report for a minor, filed 27 years ago by his mother, Angela Moorcraft.
For her 5-year-old daughter, Sarah.
But it's the status of the report that tells the whole story.
Status, closed. Withdrawn by father, Richard Moorcraft, 48 hours after it was filed.
His mother tried to get help, and his father shut it down. Erased it from the official record, just like he erased her from the photos.
And the moment he finds that document, the house turns on him violently.
It's not whispers anymore, it's sharp tapping on the walls that quickly turns into this frantic scratching, then pounding.
He tries to get out, but the locks on the doors won't turn. He throws a chair at a window, and it just bounces off. The glass doesn't even crack.
And the whole house starts to make this low, vibrating groan as if it's alive, and it's holding him there.
Then he feels it. A cold, child-sized hand wraps around his ankle.
While at the same time, the ceiling starts to weep. This thick, dark water that smells metallic, like old pipes or blood.
And he can hear sobbing. A child's sobs coming from under the floorboards.
He panics. He runs to the one place he always felt safe as a kid, the old shed in the backyard.
But as he's running, the whisper follows him. I ran too.
He's not escaping. He's being led. He's following the exact path she took.
He gets inside the shed, and the door slams shut behind him. He's thrown, forced into an old reinforced tool crate.
He's trapped. And then he hears the sound of a hammer and nails being driven into the lid.
One of the nails is poorly aimed, and it goes through the wood, digging into his side. He screams in pain.
And a voice whispers from right inside the box with him, "That's what I said too, before I was buried."
And he knows. He knows with absolute certainty. His father buried his sister alive.
The entity, Sarah, whatever it is, it's not just haunting him. It's making him relive her death. It wants something.
Vengeance. And in that moment of pure terror, trapped in the dark, Ethan gives it what it wants. He gives up his father.
"He's in Nevada," he screams. "Desert Ridge." He's using the name Edward Fox.
He gives her the location. He makes the deal.
And just like that, the pressure is gone. The crate splinters and falls apart.
But when he crawls out, he's not in the shed anymore.
No, he's in the woods, standing in a shallow pit in the dirt, surrounded by fresh, yellow police tape.
The exact spot where they found her body.
He makes one last call to his father,
Yeah.
and the man finally breaks. He confesses everything.
But his confession is even crazier than the haunting. He says, I didn't kill her. Not really. He says he was trying to stop what she was becoming.
This is where the story shifts from a family tragedy to something else. Cosmic horror. He describes Sarah as being born wrong.
Said her eyes. Saw something the rest of us didn't. Talk about how the house itself changed around her. Walls sweating, mirrors warping their reflections.
Birds stopped nesting in the trees in their yard, and for almost a full year before he acted, she stopped aging.
He said she wasn't his daughter anymore. She was a door, a breach, and something had slipped through.
He buried her, he claims, when she came to him 5 years old, and calmly said, "It's ready."
But then he gives Ethan this final, chilling warning. It wore your sister like a mask, he says, but it's not her anymore.
And then the two lines that seal Ethan's fate. "If I die, it's loose."
And it's not done with you.
And of course, the entity now knows where the father is. The breach is now uncontained.
Ethan goes home. The house is quiet, but it's cold, damp. He's looking at his phone, and in the dark screen, he sees the reflection of the window behind him.
And there's a figure standing outside.
It's smiling. Its skin looks like porcelain, like it could shatter. And its eyes, he says, aren't angry.
Yeah.
They're just patient.
He gave it the closure it needed. He ended the story of Sarah Moorcraft by sacrificing the man who created it.
And in doing so, he may have just completed the final step for the entity to stabilize itself here. The erasure didn't save him, it just made him a blank slate for the final chapter.
His last thought, the one that ends the entire account, is just gut-wrenching.
Now it's my turn.
You know, what's so terrifying is how the parents' denial, the ripped photos, the lies, how all of that created the perfect weapon for the entity to use against him. It used his own stolen past to get what it wanted.
Which leaves you with this really horrible question to think about. By giving up his father, did Even just ensure his own doom? He fed the monster to save himself, but now he's the last one left.
He's the only remaining connection to that bloodline. So did he free it to go out into the world, or did he just permanently tether it to himself? He gave up the monster who said he was trying to protect him, only to find the real monster is now free and patient and standing right outside his window.